it the right thing to do? Was it not? But, you know, differences, science moves on. And that's the thing. Science has actually now shown that, you know, through, and that's one of the upsides to some of these big organizations in the States especially, is that they are doing case reviews. And they are absolutely, you know, and hats off to them to actually come forward and actually publish some of their case data to show what we're going to discuss tonight is actually the good thing and the right thing to do, and actually gives us informed education about what we should be doing going forwards. And I just hope that more people listen to that.
Can I just touch on something that
would be beneficial to stop those unwanted pregnancies? Things have moved on. Society,
it's true.
Be mortified if somebody was letting their dog roam the streets.
That's interesting to see where that came from. Actually, that makes perfect sense. There's a heap of downsides to neutering, right? So I saw Karen Becker do a video on this, and if anyone hasn't seen it, check out Karen Becker's video where she kind of breaks down saying, I feel so bad thinking about all the dogs I neutered early when I should have left them on. And you know, it was a very moving video. That worked for me. That was like 2013 or 14, and so I got to researching and how many studies could I find. So I started looking for the negatives, and of course there's a whole heap. I started looking at the cancer thing first of all, because they say a lot of people can make the throwaway comment, it reduces cancer. It's like, it reduces what cancer? Like, if you don't have testicles, you can't get testicle cancer. I get it. But like, you know, testicle cancer isn't something that you're too terrified of in dogs. But it does increase, neutering early does increase bone cancer and rotties. In neutered golden retrievers, it was significantly their lymphosarcoma 3 times more likely than intact males. So there's a few cancers that increase when you neuter early, it seems, and that was
mast cell tumours are mildly increased in girls if you neuter. Hemangiosarcoma is increased in both males and females. Osteosarcoma, both males and females. Transitional cell carcinoma, increased in both males and females.
That's a list. Yeah, that's a list.
Cystitis, mildly increased in females.
And then the growth issues and the joint issues, the developmental issues. Like, you look at the difference between a 12-year-old boy and a 14-year-old boy. Like, you know, there's some serious hormones going on there. You can't just lop them off and expect everything to be perfectly fine. And the hormone in particular, besides testosterone, is estrogen. As we were mentioning earlier, estrogen is what's going to govern the closure of the growth plate. So if you take estrogen away from males and females, both of us have it, the bones can grow a little bit erratically. So neutered dogs are taller. The big studies, I mean, very large groups of dogs, 1,444 golden retrievers, they're significantly taller, both males and females. And that comes with it ACL issues, cruciate rupture, joint issues. We've got hip dysplasia is more likely. A study of 759 golden retrievers. Neutered males are 10% had hip dysplasia, double the occurrence than intact males.
We as a profession have definitely seen an epidemic of cranial-cruciate ligament rupture. You know, ACLs and stuff like that are just like, everybody knows to watch out for that with the lameness, hind limb lameness in the dog now. So it is so common, and it's mortifying to think that actually that's down to all of this early neutering.
Yeah, that's mad. And here's one from Waters, 2009, found that neutering female Rottweilers before 4 years of age reduces life expectancy by 30%. Oh my God.
I do not know the percentage. That Rottweiler one for osteosarcoma, I think for females, it takes them from about a 7% likelihood up to a 27%. That's nearly a third of Rottweilers, if they're neutered early, will end up with osteosarcoma. I think that the males, in fact, sorry, I might have got that the wrong way around. I think it's up to 22% for females, up to 27% for males. So it's more likely, if you early neuter a Rottweiler, you are almost a third of those will succumb to osteosarcoma.
And for me,
that's major.
Crazy.
They're the canary in the coal mine, because I think that these, you know, if you're doing early neutering, okay, because it's more obvious than doing kind of puberty, post-puberty neutering. It's the Rotties and the Labradoodles and things where you've got this obvious difference. What about all the rest of those animals who were early neutered? They're going to have stuff happening, but it's subtle. But over a lifetime, They describe it as a mutilation. In Sweden, they describe neutering as a mutilation, and it's actually illegal. Yeah, it's not just they don't do it. It's actually illegal to do it unless there's a surgical necessity with pyometra or something
Makes
like
sense.
that.
You know, I've got 2 girls. I've got 2 baby girls. I'm not going to give them a hysterectomy at 12 because I worry that they might get pregnant. It's not the end of the world. It's quite a major operation. The last few side effects here: early neutered dogs are at increased risk of hypothyroidism. Early neutered dogs are at increased risk of incontinence. I mean, you're worried about spots of blood in your floor twice a year. How about spots of wee in your floor every morning? Early neutered dogs are at increased risk of disease. Not a single one of these is ever mentioned to a non-vet pet owner when we're going to make this decision. And like, so, I mean, the last thing is behavior.
I beg to differ. If you look at that website, okay, and you give them informed consent, okay, then
that's not the average. That's not the average. I understand your sentiment, but that's not the average vet. The average vet does not give us the side effects. I mean, every time we post about this, it's never been discussed with me. It's never been mentioned in guide dogs. Large populations of dogs, like this is just the norm. We've got a breeder in Ireland, very popular breeder who breeds a type of oodle. I won't say which one. She's neutering at 6 and 7 weeks. Let's face it, to protect her lines, but that's
yes, that's right. That's just to protect her wallet, isn't it? That's it.
Wrong. And the last thing is behavior, guys. It increases anxiety, aggression towards family members. Now, behavioral studies, they are questionable at best. So if there's any proper behaviors out there, I apologize. But you know, there isn't benefits to losing your sex hormones early behaviorally. The questions that people were posing at the start was: is there benefits to behavior after so like neutering a male to stop him roaming? Like, I don't know the answer.
Stop roaming. He probably will.
I probably expect he would. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you got, for example, there was a paper where they neutered about 8 anxious German Shepherds, and 6 of them got worse.
Yeah.
So whereas I think often when you have the conversation, it's like, oh, my dog's a bit anxious. Oh, well, if you neuter them, they'll mellow. No. They probably will, but not every single one.
Yeah.
You know, and if they get worse, whoa! Because the thing about neutering, whether it's boys or girls, is it's a one-way street. Yeah, you can only take off the gonads on once. So I think one has to be very, very careful about this. In the old days, we used to neuter everything, but nowadays, I think that it's advanced to being, shall we or shan't we? Let's look at the lifestyle. Let's look at the dog. Let's look at the age and all these things.
And your ability to keep
so that's progress rather than just going straight in with everybody.
Yeah.
תודה שצפיתם. הצטרפו לקבוצת הפייסבוק שלנו, כלבים וחתולים חוזרים.